Jinbe can't handle though, he's a virgin.
Damn, son.
Nah, bro. Jinbe was probably getting tings in his prime.
What tings, bro? That man's probably like, yo, my other fisherman niggas can't get it, then I'm not getting it, bro. I can't. It's for the cause. He can't close the gap on humanity unless he pipes a human, bro. That dream is false. That nigga Jinbe got a fake dream, bro. He's gotta do it for the race, bro. He's gotta pipe a human. That's how you know if he's really about peace and unity.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.
What's good, internet? It's your boy Fly. Grab your snacks, put your seatbelt on, and get ready for a ride. Today we're talking about the final member of the Straw Hat Pirates, the helmsman, the first son of the sea, the former warlord, Jinbe. Don't you just hate when fodder always has to give an introduction to a character whenever they do something? In Wano, every time Jinbe does something or shows up, they always have to give him a whole introduction like, oh my god, that's Jinbe, first son of the sea, former warlord, used to work under Big Mom and Whitebeard. What is he doing here? Bounty of 430 million? Like, shut your mouth, man! Shut your mouth! But anyways, today we're talking about Jinbe and what happens to him after Wano, and it's very interesting because Jinbe has officially just joined the Straw Hats after 10 years of waiting, which at the end of the day, I will always say that Jinbe has one of my favorite scenes in all of One Piece, sharing blood with Luffy and Luffy asking him to join his crew. Anyways, Jinbe is a very spectacular and interesting case because unlike the other Straw Hats who have so much room to grow, Jinbe isn't really on that same boat. Like, yes, he does have some growth he does need to have, but he is a veteran pirate that's been on the seas and a fighter for many years. Like, yes, Jinbe will still grow in strength and status, but his growth won't be as exponential as other members such as Zoro and Sanji, who are much younger crew members of the Straw Hat Pirates, as well as even Usopp. I'm not saying Usopp's gonna be stronger than Jinbe, I'm just talking about in terms of growth. We've seen Jinbe fight a few times in the past, like against Gekko Maria, so we know how strong he is, and some people are penciling him as the second strongest or third strongest on the pirate crew right now. So all we really need to see from Jinbe is what he's truly capable and see him in a balls to the wall fight, giving everything he's got like previous fights with the Straw Hats in other arcs. So that's all I really want from Jinbe from this arc, so we're not really gonna talk about Jinbe in terms of growth and power. Today is gonna be a little different. We're actually gonna talk about Jinbe's future role in the Straw Hats and his status within the crew, as well as his future bounty and where his character will be going post Wano arc. Now we know that Jinbe's dream is to unite his race with the humans and have them live on the surface and have unity between humans and fishmen, thus creating peace. That is his goal, that is his dream, that is what he is willing to put on his shoulders. Jinbe is a very selfless guy, putting the dreams and wishes of others on his shoulders and carrying it on as his own. That's why I love Jinbe. He puts others before himself. He's a very selfless character. Even back in Whole Cake Island, when he was so close to joining the crew and sailing with them, he decided to stay behind and help his former crew escape because, again, he's a selfless dude. And it's very rarely he puts his own personal interest before others. And that's probably a character thing that's going to be going on with Jinbe in the future, where he should be a bit more selfish and put his own concerns and his own well-being above others, and Luffy will probably teach him that because we all know Luffy is a very selfish man, or at least a bit more relaxed and carefree. But that'll happen the longer he's with the Straw Hats, as we've seen with Law falling into the Straw Hats goofiness and pace. All jokes aside, we did get to see Jinbe's flashback and his adventures with Fisher Tiger alongside Fishman Island's flashback, but as I mentioned in Brooks' video, that we have yet to see Jinbe's actual childhood and how he grew up, and we saw a picture of what he looked like as a child. He had a black belt and he looked a little scruffed up, so he probably had a little rough upbringing, I guess. We don't have to see his flashback as a child, but I think it'd be nice to have a little flashback of how he grew up and what was going on there in his childhood. We already know about his relationship with Fisher Tiger and Arlong, and they were all brothers back in the day, but having a little bit more deepened connection with those three would be pretty cool, and seeing how they all were as children. And speaking of flashback, there is a certain character that I really wish for Jinbe to meet after Wano, and her name is Koala. Segway King. Because I think a meeting between Koala and Jinbe would be such a sweet moment for Jinbe's character, just to prove and show to him that humans and fishmen can truly coexist together, with Hack joining the Revolutionary Army and Koala herself knowing fishman karate, and seeing how far Koala has come since the moment she met to how she is now and what she's fighting for, not hating fishmen after that incident, and in fact being inspired by Jinbe and Fisher Tiger, will be such a great character moment for Jinbe, showing that yes, his dream dream can become a reality. And hopefully at the end of the series, maybe Koala and Jinbe and Hack will open up some fisherman karate that they can teach the humans. And going on from here for the future of One Piece, Jinbe along with the Straw Hats will be trying to strengthen the connection between humans or whatever race that they're on with the fishmen and merfolk. And it will start with Wano, because we've seen that Wano and their citizens were discriminating against Kawamatsu and the mink because they thought they were aliens or didn't really like them because of how they looked. So a meeting with Kawamatsu and Jinbe would be great, so they can unify that connection and show that yes, fishmen can live somewhere and coexist with other people. And that will start with Wano because of what happened with Kawamatsu and how he was discriminated. And Kawamatsu will probably be like the representative for Fishman Island on Wano and proving that yes, humans and fishmen can coexist. So I really hope Kawamatsu and Jinbe have a moment soon in this arc. Now I think it's time we have some real talk about Jinbe and his role in the crew. We do know he's a helmsman, but I'm talking about the power hierarchy. That is what I meant to say. But I'm talking about the power dynamic within the crew. I'm talking about the monster trio. Before Jinbe joined the crew, the monster trio was always Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy. But in the new world, Luffy has been proving himself more and more and separating himself from the crew and was more of a captain, with Zoro and Sanji underneath being his right and left hand man. But with Jinbe joining, people are saying that the new monster trio is now Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbe. I do want to clarify something in that in the terms of a Yonko or Emperor structure, yes, that would be the case where Luffy is the captain, and then yes, there's 3 commanders, Jinbe, Sanji, and Zoro underneath him. And that is the case because Luffy is considered one of the 5th emperors of the sea, and he is separating himself as the captain, showing that he's far and beyond the rest of his crew, which is very true. But at the very same time, I don't think the actual dynamic of Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy will change in the future of the story. And in fact, it'll stay the same. We've seen this time and time again with Robin and Frankie joined the crew. When they joined, they were kind of seemed as the new second in command, or at least one of the top 3 strongest characters in the crew. But as time went by, the dynamic stayed the same. And I don't think that's going to change now with 900 chapters into the story. So in the power dynamic, Zoro and Sanji and Luffy will always be the 3 strongest members of the crew, regardless of who joins afterwards. But when Luffy's not around, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbe are the 3 strongest subordinates on the Straw Hat crew, and they kind of are the new monster trio with Luffy as a captain. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say and not confusing you guys. We shouldn't be comparing Luffy with other Yonko with their commanders, but instead comparing him with Goldie Roger and his crew dynamic, with Scopper Gabon and Silver Rayleigh being the 2 strongest men on Roger's crew, being his right and left hand man. And I think that's who Sanji and Zoro are supposed to be a parallel of. And this might make the fish scales of you Jinbe fans itch, but Zoro and Sanji will eventually be stronger than Jinbe because they just have a lot more room to grow. Jinbe is a fantastic addition to the Straw Hats, and he brings a lot of prestige and status to the crew, and Luffy now has a new member he can rely on when he's not around, with Jinbe, Zoro, and Sanji being the new strongest characters on the crew besides Luffy. Zoro and Sanji being the right and left hand man of Luffy, with Jinbe being more of the support, steering Luffy and the crew into the right direction because of his veteran skills, and he is the helmsman and that's their job, steering the crew in the right direction and making sure they stay on the right course. And that has always been Jinbe's role ever since he met Luffy, making sure that Luffy stays on track and always steering him to the right path, like that time when he reminded Luffy on Amazon Lily that there are still people he has to protect and people that he loved, making sure he did not quit on his ambitions. Again, Jinbe is the helmsman, not only on the ship, but in terms of support. And before anyone comes in with Jinbe has a higher bounty than both of it, we all know that bounties aren't that serious. Don't put too much stake onto them. Robin had the 2nd highest bounty on the crew up until Enies Lobby. Was she the 2nd strongest character on the crew? No. But let's talk about bounty and what type of bounty Jinbe will get at the end of Wano. Segue. Jinbe currently has a bounty of 438 million at the end of Wano, seeing that he aligned himself with the Straw Hat Pirates and part of the downfall of 1 or maybe 2 Emperors of the Sea. His bounty will skyrocket and it will probably reach the billions, or at least close to the billions. Maybe lowest possibility 700 million, highest possibility somewhere in the 1 billions. I remember when Jinbe was first being introduced into the story and people were speculating on whether he'll join the crew, and people were going out of their way to find a gag for Jinbe, going so far as to say that Jinbe's gag is that he will sacrifice his life no matter the situation. Like, what is wrong with this fan base? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. With Jinbe being the last Straw Hat, this series will be coming to a close. I really like Jinbe. I like his character, I like his ambition, I like everything about his dream and how far he's come to try to accomplish that, and I like how well he fits in with the Straw Hats. It feels like he's been there the whole time, even though he wasn't for the last 10 years, but you know what I mean. Jinbe joining the crew now was a perfect opportunity because we are facing two emperors, with one of them possibly falling by the end of this arc. And I said this many times that I think that the crew should be complete by the time they take down their first emperor, and Jinbe finally joining, and with the possibility and even hinting at that we're getting another crew member, Yamato, and Luffy wanting 10 crew members, the crew seems to be on its way to finally being complete after all these years. Put down in the comments your favorite Jinbe moment, as well as what the pirate dynamic in the crew will be and Jinbe's future bounty, and what you guys think about him in general. Don't forget to rate the video, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay notified if you're new. I thank you guys for coming, watching. Hope you guys have a good day and a good night. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Toodles!